And we are back with another UC Sports. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Josh Schlactus, and alongside me is my co-anchor, the lovely and talented Noam.
Josh, you're never short on hot air, but no need to flatter me. I bet our parents would never have dreamed of this 30 years ago when they all first met, but now here we are for our first edition of UC Sports together.
This must be a truly special moment then. But now to the show. This week at UConn was full of excitement and action as two UConn champions heard their name called at the WNBA draft. The baseball team hosted a 3-game series against conference foe Memphis. The softball team was down at Houston, and the track and field team hosted the first and only home meet of the season.
So much to bring you guys, and a special surprise at the end of the show too. So let's get right to it. UC Sports starts
right now. Katie Lou Samuelson and Nafisa Collier may have ended their UConn careers in Tampa, but the next step of their basketball journeys started on Wednesday night at the WNBA draft. Katie Lou Samuelson was selected 4th overall to the Chicago Sky, where she will join fellow UConn alums Gabby William and Stephanie Dolson. Nafisa Collier was selected just 2 picks later to the Minnesota Lynx and will be joining Maya Moore after this year, as Moore is taking a year off from the league.
That was big news for one of the most prolific duos in UConn history, and we will surely be supporting them throughout their journeys and future endeavors. Samuelson and Collier each went higher than many mock drafts had initially selected. Again, we wish them all the best, but switching gears, the UConn baseball team had a busy week of action. After winning at Bryant on Tuesday and at home against Northeastern on Wednesday, the Huskies hosted Memphis for a conference series this past weekend. On Friday, Mason Feely went 6 2/3 strong innings in a 3-1 win. Saturday turned into a tough one, though, as Jeff Kirsten and the Husky defense struggled, falling 7-1. The rubber match was an intense, high-emotion tilt with both teams vying for the series win. I was there for the action as UConn pulled away with a 4-2 series-clinching win. In the rubber match Sunday between UConn and Memphis, tensions ran high, especially in the third inning as UConn closer Jacob Wallace was ejected from the game. Yet, the Huskies were able to bounce back from that tough spot and win, taking the series 2-1. The Huskies and Tigers were scoreless through 5 innings as UConn starter Jimmy Wang and reliever Carl Johnson pitched beautifully. In the 6th, Connor Moriarty got the line going for the Huskies with a double to left. Mike Woodworth attempted to sacrifice him over to third with a bunt, but he ended up reaching on the bunt instead. So it was 1st and 3rd for Anthony Nucerino, who blooped one to center and scored Moriarty. Then Christian Fedko came to bat and doubled the lead with a screamer to left, putting UConn up 2-0. UConn looked primed to break this one open in the 7th when Paul Gazzo stayed hot, ripping a single into center. Chris Winkle then reached on a bunt, but then Connor Moriarty couldn't get a sacrifice bunt down and instead grounded into a rare triple play for the Tigers. With stud closer Jacob Wallace unavailable due to his ejection in the 3rd inning for arguing balls and strikes, head coach Jim Penders had to look for other options in order to get the final outs needed for UConn to secure the win. Up 2-0 in the 8th, he went to Caleb Worcester, but an error by him allowed a runner to reach third on a bunt attempt. In came CJ Dandino, who allowed 2 runs to score, and the damage was done as the game was tied at 2 going into the bottom of the 8th. There, UConn played small ball, as Michael Woodworth reached on a walk and Anthony Nucerino moved him over. The Tigers decided to intentionally walk John Topa to bring up Christian Fedko in a huge situation with 2 men on in the 8th inning of a tie game. Fedko came through in the clutch with a huge 2-run single to break this one open and give UConn a 4-2 lead that Dandino would lock down in the 9th, picking up the win in the process. The Huskies won the game 4-2. With the win, UConn improves to 23-13, 7-5 in the American Conference. The Huskies will head out on the road this week. On Tuesday, they'll play at UMass Amherst. Then on Thursday, they'll be down at Eastern Carolina for a huge matchup with a top 10 ranked team in the country. From J.O. Christian Field, I'm Noam Watt, UCTV Sports. Back to you, Josh.
Thank you, Noam. Good to see the baseball team end their homestand on a high note. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break, but when we return, we're going to see how the other teams on campus did this past weekend. So, stay tuned. Welcome back to UC Sports. On Saturday, the UConn track team hosted its first and only home meet of the season. Our own Kyle Berry had the scoop on that one.
Today in stores, the UConn men's and women's track team hosted their annual Northeast Challenge here at the Sherman Family Sports Complex. On the men's side, 4 of the 7 top finishes came from underclassmen. Noah Woodman took home the 400 meter with a time of 47.34 seconds. In the 5,000 meter, it was James Maniscalco taking it home with a time of 15 minutes and 10.77 seconds. For the throwers, Matt Brady won shot put for the meet with a throw of 17.51 meters, and sophomore Todd Stuber won discus with a throw of 51.74 meters. For the upperclassmen, Kyle Brackman won the 1,500 meter with a time of 3 minutes and 54.78 seconds. Ian Bergier won the pole vault with a vault of 4.92 meters, and Malik Sneed continued his dominance in the triple jump with a jump of 15.6 meters. The men won this meet by a score of 164, with Southern Connecticut State University finishing in second with 90 and URI in third with 85 points. The women absolutely dominated in the short and mid-distance events, winning the 200 meter, 400 meter, 400 meter hurdles, and 800 meter by athletes Gianna Baker, Kat Surin, Christina Sherrington, and Susan Anino, respectively. But don't sleep on that 5,000 meter group, as they took home 1, 2, and 3 to win the top 3 for that event. They also won the 4x400 relay with a time of 3 minutes 37.69 seconds. And in the field, Emma Chi won it for the pole vaulters with a vault of 3.83 meters, and Taylor Woods won the long jump event with a jump of 6.34 meters. UConn won with a final score of 198 points, followed by Albany with 121, and URI with 76. The Huskies will look to continue their winning ways on Friday when they head to Princeton for the Larry Ellis Invitational. From the Sherman Family Sports Complex, I'm Kyle Berry, UCTV Sports.
Well, it was great to see our Huskies dominate the competition at our only home meet of the season. Those were some pretty incredible times there throughout the meet, and this dominance is great to see from a surging UConn track team.
It was a great way, like you said, for UConn to celebrate a beautiful spring day in stores, and the track and field teams definitely took advantage of the support from the home crowd. Special shout out to our guy Malik for winning the triple jump. Away from campus, the softball and lacrosse teams had matchups down south. Softball was down in Houston for a 3-game set. While they were unable to come away with a win, the defense performed well in the latter 2 games, holding Houston to a combined 5 runs. Katie Cautious went 6 strong in Game 2, and Mary Beth Olson struck out 7 in Game 3. The team returns to stores Tuesday at 4 against Central Connecticut. Last week, our own Ryan Paney sat down with Brianna Marcelino, shortstop on the softball team. Here's a snippet of the interview. Check out the full thing on our YouTube page.
I saw you play shortstop.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why you chose it, or just kind of played it when you were younger and kept with it?
It's kind of just always been my thing. Ever since I was little, I just loved to dive around. I was always that kid that was getting dirty, and I just loved being in the center of the field and just kind of like working with everyone.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was second baseman when I played baseball, so
Yeah.
I agree. I like to get
It's
dirty
fun.
too.
Yeah.
Middle infield's awesome.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about playing when you were younger. When did you start playing?
About when I was 5. So I followed in my sister's footsteps. I would always watch her play in high school, and I would just be there in the bleachers, just like, Mom, I really want to play, and so I started.
UConn's very own lacrosse team went down to Nashville over the weekend to play Vanderbilt. Sydney Watson led the charge with 4 goals for UConn, followed by Caitlin Leary and Olivia Miles, who both put up strong performances as well. However, their efforts were not enough as Vanderbilt came out on top with a score of 22-15. The Huskies come home for their next game as they face Florida on Saturday at the George J. Sherman Family Sports Complex.
While life at UConn has been incredibly busy and bustling, the Huskies are also making noise in the pros. UConn quarterback David Pendel is busy preparing for the NFL Draft, which is coming up on April 25th. In addition, there are not one, not two, but three Huskies in the NBA playoffs. Rudy Gay's Spurs hold a 1-0 lead on the Nuggets. Shabazz Napier's Nets are up 1-0 on the Sixers and tipping off real soon. And Andre Drummond led the Pistons to the 8th seed in the East, where they now trail Milwaukee 1-0.
Well, that's all the time we've got for today, folks. Oh, never mind, excuse me. My producer is giving me the cue that we have time to bring you one more segment for the night. So, without further ado, we bring you the top plays from the UConn Huskies this past weekend.
At number 3, we have pitcher Jeff Kirsten on Saturday flashing the leather with an incredible diving catch on an attempted bunt. The Huskies ultimately fell, but that didn't take away from Kirsten's effort.
At number 2, we have Malik Snead jumping 15.66 meters in the triple jump as he not only took home the first place prize at the meet, but he posted the best jump of his season and cemented status as the current AAC leader.
And finally, at number 1, we bring you back to the diamond. After John Topa was intentionally walked in the bottom of the 8th inning of a tie game, Christian Fedko came to the plate with 2 outs and delivered the knockout blow to the Tigers, driving in 2 with a clutch single and giving UConn a big series win. Looks like teams won't be walking Topa to get to Fedko next time.
Well, that's actually going to wrap up tonight's show, and thanks for tuning in. If you want to check out the packages we use in the show, as well as some of the other great programs we do, go to our YouTube channel at UCTV Channel 14, and make sure to follow us on both Instagram and Twitter at UCTV Sports. We'll keep you up to date on all things UConn sports.
For my co-anchor, Josh Schlactus, who I'm so happy to have finally hosted a show with, and our entire crew behind the scenes, I'm Noam. Have a great night, everyone, and go Huskies.